might have heard or, think about Jay Cutler. He had one of his best seasons last year. Just played really good football, and at times was one of the better quarterbacks in the league. So, yeah, good he's getting the recognition from his coaches, and we'll see what he can do with Dowell Loggins this year.
Yeah, Dowell. They talked about him a little bit, too, and how he doesn't really take any crap from anybody. He's very vocal and very honest about his feelings.
I heard the term "big picture guy." He sees the whole thing, which is
so that's reassuring to hear as well. I think the Bears. Here's a question for you that I heard today.
Yeah.
If you had to choose the Bears or the Bulls, who is going to win a championship sooner?
Bears.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
And I'm a Bulls guy. I feel like the Bears are heading in a right direction, and the Bulls are kind of that window is closing.
The Bulls at the current state have probably more talent and but they're on a downward trend as compared to the Bears, who are definitely on an upward trend. And I don't think either team is close to a title.
Yeah. But the Bears are moving in that direction slowly.
Yeah.
They're rebuilding. They're getting their identity in place. I think they have more of an identity than the Bulls do, especially at this point.
Like I've said a lot this offseason, they've put themselves in a good position. They have a lot of picks, tons of money.
They have 9 picks. Is
that
correct?
I think it's at 9 or I might be double digits. I'm not told. We'll have to double check. But they have a lot of picks, more than anyone. So they've just put themselves in a really nice position as a team rebuilding. And rebuilds in the NFL are kind of, a little different than other leagues. So we'll see if, the Bears could be right back in it next year. But, yeah.
You never know. We'll have to wait and see. We'll get to the Bulls a little later, but I want to talk some Cubs because position players have now reported, and it was Tuesday, and I was right.
What?
I was wrong.
It was pitches and catches were Wednesday. What? I don't even remember what the
Blake's
was.
wrong, and now he's just
I was right.
Bumbling over his words.
No.
So I want to talk a little bit about the Cubs here. Getting excited for spring training. Guys look like they're having fun. Anthony Rizzo and Chris Bryant made an Instagram account for David Ross, which is hilarious.
Yes. I love that.
And we like old man Ross, so
I'm sad. One more season. Hopefully just puts himself on the bench.
Yeah, I would love for him to just become
he's
a
already
catching
pretty
coach
much
or
is,
something.
Yeah,
he's pretty much a coach.
Already, so.
Yeah.
Just
Madden even said, he was like, yeah, I don't care what he does with a bat as long as he's true to who he is and he's in the locker room.
He's a great guy to have around.
Oh, yeah.
Despite, his production. He's a guy you want in there.
And, of course, I'm hoping on this podcast moving forward that we get a nice quote from Joe every week, which we probably will.
We absolutely will.
And he's all into this thing called embrace the target now, embracing that target on your back, embracing the pressure. Blake, what do you think of that slogan there?
Well, it kind of fits the what they're going for this year. I mean, it's like Joe to make one of these sayings that are going to hopefully carry you through the season. But yeah, it's I don't know, it's a cool thing, I guess.
It's a nice little thing to put on a T-shirt.
Yeah,
so.
It's a nice little hashtag. I already used it a couple times.
Oh my gosh!
I've been using it for everything, like going to the bathroom and
embracing the target.
Yeah.
Talking to your roommates, Blake usually doesn't embrace the target.
Well, good one.
Yeah, that was really good. That was really good. Tip your waitress. Also, something interesting happened with Donald Trump calling out the Ricketts family and saying that they're hiding something from all of us.
Yeah, I saw that.
I thought it was pretty hilarious.
I don't even know what to think about whatever that is, that whole situation. But
we're not Trump supporters.
Yeah. He is entertaining. I'm very entertained by him.
Very entertaining. But if we don't really support him in his presidential goals, not going to vote for him. Sorry, dude. But he was basically...
He'll sue you if you don't... We should not say that on...
We're done. I thought we were in trouble earlier with the copyright infringement and all that jazz, but man, now if Donald Trump goes after us,
we get the Ricketts, then it's right at us next, right after.
But Tom was not afraid
Neither is his mother, apparently.
Yeah, he like went back at Trump saying that they have nothing to hide and how Donald was calling out his mom and all this stuff.
Very just odd situation. I mean,
why?
It's a presidential candidate calling out whoever he can, you know. So.
Yeah, it's just
politics are.
We're not talking politics.
We're not talking politics.
Show. We're talking sports, but this was a funny thing.
It was it was funny.
But I'd take Tom in a fight any day over Trump. Just pull off his hair, his toupee.
Yeah.
And Theo for president. I'm doing it right now.
Oh, yeah, for they're talking a deal.
Yeah.
They have been, I feel
Tom
like,
and
forever.
Theo got dinner.
He said he's worth, all this money, but, we haven't seen anything concrete yet, so.
They'll pay him. I'm pretty confident they're going to pay him.
I'm about 99% sure he'll be a Cub for as long as it takes, so.
Just lock him in.
Lock him
Tom,
in.
Lock him
give
in.
that guy a deal.
Give him all the money.
I'll give you some money too. I can help
Blake's
out.
always offering up money in this show. Blake's broke, everyone. We don't have any money to give, but I guess it's the thought that counts.
It's the thought that counts. I can give him a hug.
Give him a hug and $2 for a Dr. Pepper.
Yeah,
or a beer at Rabbits.
You had to bring it up.
We got to bring Rabbits in that.
Sponsor us.
Sponsor us, Rabbits.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll get more into Cubs talk as spring training kind of goes on, and probably.
You want to mention D. Fowler?
Oh yeah, Dexter Fowler is moving on from the Cubs, going into the O's, and we just want to wish him luck as he goes. He was a great Cub, probably now one of my favorite ex-Cubs.
Yeah.
One
great year.
He was really good for us, and I wish him well.
Yeah,
in
fun
Baltimore.
guy.
And I'm glad he's out of the NL. So
yeah,
that's good.
I didn't go to the White Sox.
Yeah,
or who was it, like the Cardinals maybe?
There was a couple teams, but I've been hearing the Orioles for a while now. So
it's been about a couple weeks since I've started hearing those rumors. So cool to see him land in a nice spot.
Dex, we'll miss you, but we wish you luck. You're a friend of the program. You're welcome to jump on anytime.
You can jump on. We're gonna have so many people jumping on.
So many people don't jump on. Kristen Orphea.
He's the one I want more than anyone.
All right, let's talk some Bulls here again. Tonight they played the Wizards, and Derrick Rose was a late scratch with a hamstring. But it didn't really matter because other guys stepped up and came to play. They had 7 guys in double figures tonight, which was nice to see.
All right, I just want to ask.
Yeah.
I was in class before we recorded, so did they win? I haven't looked at the score.
Yeah, they won.
They won?
The Bulls beat the Wizards at home. Wizards had everyone healthy, too. And they've been another huge disappointment in the NBA. There's been a couple.
Yeah.
New Orleans, the Wizards, and the Bulls, obviously.
Kind of the teams that always end up disappointing you. Not the Bulls as much.
Well, yeah.
The Wizards and
the Pellies, everyone was thinking that this was going to be like Anthony Davis's coming out party, but they haven't had a healthy backcourt all season, and that's been a little troubling. So after the win tonight against the Wizards, I think it was a great win tonight, kind of a statement win for the Bulls.
They've been playing good.
They've been playing with a little bit more scrap recently. Apparently, Fred Hoiberg is swearing in practice, so that's kind of funny.
That's a big change, apparently.
Everyone was stoked about that, so keep on cursing, Fred. And the Bulls are sitting in the 6th spot in the East. We're 8th before the game tonight. And Blake, you asked me our last Tuesday recording that if Derrick Rose could carry this team. And before tonight's game, he's been doing that. He's had multiple games, 20-plus, been attacking the rim, not settling for outside jumpers. And he says that he feels like his own self, even though he was a late scratch tonight with a hamstring injury. But you guys kind of have to expect this stuff now. And he's close to his total games played during the regular season in the past 3 years combined this season already. So that's saying something. He's feeling better.
The image I go to right now, like just in the past week that I've been thinking about with Derek, and you kind of see where his mentality is kind of changing, is in the Toronto game. Believe it or not, I watched that game.
Wow.
He got a rebound, just like a shot off the rim, bounced out to him, and he had a wide open 3. Like, no one within 10 feet of him. And he still decided to take it to the rim.
Yeah, I saw a little.
You know what I'm talking about?
Crossed over and went with a nice.
Got a nice layup.
Yeah.
You know, That one, it
Remember
really
that play.
shows that he's, really thinking about how he can improve his game, and especially in moments like that.
Something that stood out to me in that Toronto game as well, there was a shot that he put up and missed, and immediately went back up for the rebound again.
Yeah.
Kind of had like that double jump containment, kind of just going up and exploding and not thinking, which I think is huge for him to just play and not think, because the more he thinks, the worse he does, I think. So, yeah, Derek's been playing well recently. It'll be interesting to see him play when Jimmy's back on the floor and how those two kind of gel together.
Derek's been doing that, creative, moves to the rim more often, where he, finds a really creative way to score a bucket, which is, vintage Derrick Rose. I've been seeing that a lot more recently, so that's a good sign.
By the way, I hate that phrase, vintage Derrick Rose. I think it's stupid, but that's just the Bulls fan in me just being bitter about what could have been with this team if he was healthy.
There's 2010 Derrick Rose, and then there's 2015 Derrick Rose, so
I get it. I understand.
you know what it is.
Thank you. Someone I want to talk about is Mr. McBuckets.
Doug
McDermott.
The Doug, as I like to call him.
So before that Toronto game, I believe, Fred Hoiberg sat him down and basically was like, I believe in you, man. Like, I know every single time you shoot the ball, I think it's going in. And it's really seemed to boost Doug's confidence. He's not a one-dimensional player on offense. He can drive. He can take it to the hole. He had 2 nasty dunks tonight.
I saw a gif of one.
He threw down tonight, and in the fourth quarter, he was huge for the Bulls, along with Etuan Moore, who's been stepping up. Like I said in one of our earlier episodes, you have Derek, Jimmy, and Pau. Who else is going to step up on this team? What does the supporting cast look like? What are they going to do? And if they can do that consistently, if you can have 2 to 3 bench guys playing consistently, this Bulls team can kind of take that next step into contention once again. But it's yet to be seen if they can do it for a long, extended period of time. But I'm very encouraged with Doug McDermott. 3
Dropped
straight
30.
games. He dropped 30 on Toronto.
Like, what?
30.
He was nailing all his shots, but still.
He was confident. It's catch and shoot. He's just playing.
Yeah.
And I think for this whole Bulls team over this recent stretch, even after the All-Star break, they threw up a dud against Cleveland. And remember I said they'll probably beat the Raptors because they play the Raptors well.
They're on a 4-game winning streak.
3-game.
3-game?
Yeah. And
that's the second best team in the East, so that's saying something.
That is saying something.
That's a team I'd want to see in the playoffs.
Toronto?
Yeah.
Me too. Because I think if you put Jimmy on DeRozan and Derek on Kyle Lowry, make those guys work for a bit, and I'm confident with Pau down low. I think the only teams that really scare me in the East, matchup-wise for the Bulls, are Atlanta and Cleveland, obviously.
Yeah.
Atlanta has some athletic bigs that kind of outwork Pau a bit. Al Horford. Without Joakim in there, it's pretty hard to match up against Atlanta because their bigs are so athletic. Paul Millsap, Al Horford.
Yeah.
All those guys. And now they have DeMar Carroll, too, which is a big... Or I don't have DeMar Carroll. He was traded to Toronto.
Right? Yeah.
So they have a couple of good athletic bigs.
Yeah.
That create matchup problems.
The only team I'm really scared of, is the Cavs. And I don't really see us beating the Cavs. But all the other teams in the East are completely beatable.
In a 7-game series against Cleveland, I don't see us winning that series at all.
Yeah.
It'll be competitive just because we're always competitive against the Cavs. We usually play them pretty well. But I don't see us beating
If we were going to beat them, we were going to beat them last year, and it didn't happen. So
they had a chance to go up 3-1, and LeBron hit a game winner in the corner.
Crushed us.
Yep.
Crushed everyone's
dreams.
dreams.
That was too bad. But the Bulls seem like they're playing, and even tonight post-game, Doug said that Fred isn't really calling plays that often anymore. They're just kind of letting them play.
Yeah.
Which is good to see. Just let it fly, have fun, run up and down, get after it. And then they have that Atlanta team coming up on Friday, so we'll see if the Bulls can figure them out. But so far this season, it has not been great against Atlanta.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. Let's get into some shout-outs and some meatballs.
And one, like a shout-out meatball thing, like a sandwich of...
A sandwich of shout-out
I don't know
meatballs.
where I'm going with this, right?
We'll just go with meatballs first and then shout-outs after that. How about that?
That's good with me.
Okay. Give us some meatballs, Blake. Who's your meatball?
My biggest meatball out of